Garlic scapes, garlic scapes, garlic scapes. Oh my gosh, quite the abundance of garlic scapes this year. What to do with them all? Well, this is the second attempt at working my way through my garlic scapes. If you haven't seen it yet, check out my video on dehydrated garlic scapes. So what am I going to do with these? I decided that with the rest of my garlic scapes, or at least a good part of them maybe, I'm going to pickle them. You add a little bit of spices in there and vinegar. It's like a really savory snack, or you can even put them inside like a drink, like a Caesar. If you're from Canada, you know what a Caesar is. If you're not from Canada, it's somewhere along the lines of a Bloody Mary. So you can use that in there as a garnish and kind of eat it, because it's a lot milder tasting than garlic. What is a garlic scape? So a garlic scape is the part that when you plant garlic and you get your leaves, that grows out of the center of the leaves of garlic somewhere around 3 weeks before they're ready to be harvested. So you want to remove these from your garlic because you want the energy from your growing plant to go towards the bulb and not towards creating the flower that would eventually come out at the end here. So you cut these off, but these are not to be discarded. These can make really great recipes. You can substitute your garlic scapes in recipes where it calls for garlic. It's milder tasting. Some people will eat them raw, add them in salads, and so stir fries. Like, there's many uses for garlic scapes. If you keep them in your fridge, they will last for a few weeks in your fridge. My plan today is to, with these garlic scapes that I have left from the huge mountain that I did have, is to pickle them. So the first thing that needs to happen is we need to trim off the end of where the flower bud would have started, and then pack these in bottles, create our brine, and then process them for 10 minutes. Even if this is a vegetable, it's still going to be considered a high acid because of what we're putting into it, because we're adding vinegar and preserving agents. It will be safe to water bath can them. I, of course, will be steam canning them in my very loved steam canner, but you can also water bath can them using the same method, the same processing time in a water bath canner. So let's get going. I'm going to start by chopping off the ends, taking off those tough parts on the ends. And you just keep doing this until you've got all your garlic scapes trimmed. It seems like a lot of garlic scapes, but really once you work through them, it's a good quantity, but it's not an overwhelming amount. You can also take your garlic scapes and make like a pesto with them. Many different uses for garlic scapes. So what do we fill our jars with? What makes these garlic scapes, these pickled garlic scapes, so good? Well, we have to start by making a brine. And in this brine, I am going to add apple cider vinegar. It's going to make me 6 jars, 6 500 milliliter jars of pickled garlic scapes. So I add 6 tablespoons of the pickling salt. Now remember, we're processing this, so it can't be regular table salt. It has to be the pickling salt. So 6 tablespoons. And as well, we add to this. So now I'm going to heat this up, and while this is heating up, I will prepare these scapes and put them inside of my jars. So I'll heat this up. So there's really no fancy way to get these inside your jars. Just cut them so they fit. You can pack them in fairly tight. So before you add your scapes to your jars, what you're going to do is you're going to add 1 tablespoon of your pickling spice and 1/4 teaspoon, 1/4, not 1/2, and 1/4 teaspoon of your red pepper flakes. You put that in the bottom of your jar, and then you just proceed to stuff your jars with your scapes. You can try to make them pretty, you can set them in circles, you can put them straight in, whatever you find the most appealing. Pack them down in there as much as you can. Once your jars are stuffed with the garlic scapes and your spices, all that's left to do is to add the hot brine. So just be careful, pour that in. You have to leave a ½ inch of head space. I have more. These will have a lot of air bubbles, so make sure to remove the air bubbles from inside of your jars. Get everything underneath the liquid. Readjust the liquid if you need to. Wipe down the rims of your jars. You just need to wipe down the rims of your jars with water. Put your caps on top of your jars. Put your rings on fingertip tight, not too tight, just enough, just until you feel the resistance and stop. Oof, the bottles are hot. And then transfer them over to your canner with your jar lifters. And if you're unfamiliar with water bath canning or steam canning, be sure to check out my video. I do have one on either one of those techniques, and it goes into a lot more detail than what I do here. I like to keep these videos a little bit shorter, so be sure to check out those videos if you are unfamiliar with this. And also, if you like my channel, don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know when I put new videos up. Once you have all the jars inside of your canner, all you need to do is increase the heat and bring it up. This is a steam canner. It's for high acid foods. So what you need to do is you need to turn the heat up on high and bring this to the heat that it needs to be for the altitude that you're living in. If you're doing this with the water bath canner method, that's fine as well. Make sure that all your jars are at least 1 inch under the water and then bring it to a boil. Once your steam canner gets to the appropriate temperature, or your water bath canner gets to a really good boil, then we time it for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes is up, you need to leave it sitting inside your steam canner or your water bath canner for 5 minutes before you touch the bottles. And after that, all you need to do is remove your jars from your canner and everything will be done. You always need to let your jars sit for 24 hours after that. Remember that now. Don't touch them for 24 hours. You just need to be patient. There you go. 6 beautiful jars of pickled garlic scapes. I can't wait to try them. You should let them sit though for about 10 to 14 days just to let all those flavors kind of blend together and really absorb into the scape. But otherwise, after that, they're good to go. Make sure to check that your jars are properly sealed. And once they've sealed after 24 hours, then you can move them around, you can touch them. Be sure to remove your rings. Never store your jars with the rings on. You have to remove those. And be sure to write down on top of your jar exactly what's in there because you may forget over time. With that mountain of garlic scapes, all I have left is this little bag, which I'll probably put in the fridge and cook in a stir fry or use in different ways. Also, be sure to wipe down your jars as well before storing them just to make sure that they're nice and clean. Store them in a cool, dry place and they can stay good up to a year. I hope you like this content. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, be sure to check out my other videos and be sure to check back again soon to see what other content I'll have coming out.